Welcome one and all to the 7th episode of Season 2 of D&D, which stands for Daddy and Daughter, and I am Mike.
And I am Zoe.
And today we're going to continue with our platformer. So the way we left it last time is actually in a fairly decent spot.
Oh yeah, we had an enemy.
We added an enemy, but we also made it work pretty well, so that all of our forces are applying more or less correctly. We are attaching to the wall. There is a bit of an odd thing here, if you're careful. You can see you're going to sort of snap to the wall. Did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
Plop. But it's not a big deal. And we'll see whether we address that in what way, right? There's so many ways to address that. So anyway, all of this is working perfectly well and perfectly fine. And we have added an enemy that we can either bump into and die, but it will also kill the enemy. And also we can squish it like this and kill it. That's pretty cool. Now, I think that when we squish an enemy, we should bounce off of it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so, well, the first thing that we are going to do is we're going to do a little bit of refactoring, right? Now, refactoring means that we change the way we have made the code so far so that it's going to be a little bit more understandable or a little bit better, okay? So step number 1 will be to go to the character controller and rename this one to character motor, okay? So you want to hit Control R twice here and put capital M-O-T-O-R, motor. Hit enter. Save. Okay, now it's going to whine a little bit because this file is still called controller. So we are going to close the file in Visual Studio, go over here and rename it here as well, in a moment, to motor with a capital M. No, capital M. Motor.
There.
Hit enter. Ta-da! All right, so that's good. Now here we have the player who controls the character, right? And the thing is, our enemy also must have a player. So I think it would make sense to change this one as well to character controller. So now we're going to have a character controller, which is the thing that controls the motor, right? The motor is what moves it, okay? So let's go to the player over here, hit Control R twice, and rename this one to character controller with a capital C. Character, capital C again, controller. No, wait. Put an R again. Troller. No, you forgot the T, but all right. T. Controller. All right, so we got the character controller. I'm going to close this file as well. I'm going to go down here, and we're going to rename this one to character controller. Wait a moment, wait, just a second. There. Character controller. Controller. Hit enter. Ta-da! Save. Okay, so now we got all of this done. Let's quickly check that our things are working. You see we got a character motor right here and a character controller, and this one is user controlled, whereas this one is not user controlled. Okay? So we have a few things that we can try. Well, one thing that I'd like to try is I'd like to move our little enemy and see if he's subjected to gravity. Okay, so I'm going to not maximize anymore. Okay, and now I got the enemy. All right, and I'm going to move the enemy just a little bit. Pop. Did you see it fell?
Mm-hmm.
Just like a normal character. What if I do this? Pop. The enemy has killed us by falling on us. Okay, sounds good. So everything is working more or less well.
Didn't we make a variable to control user controlled? There it is.
Yeah, but we don't want to user control it, right? We want the computer to control it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if the computer is going to control it, we're going to make a goomba. Do you agree with me?
Yeah.
So let's make a basic goomba. Now, do you remember how the goombas move? How do they move?
They just walk normally, and then they see you, and then they rush at you.
Wait a moment. This is in much more advanced Marios. I mean in the absolutely basic 2D Marios. I don't think you've actually ever played one, but you have played new Super Mario. You have played that one on Wii, right?
Mm-hmm.
How do the Goombas behave there?
They just walk around.
They just walk, right? Now, in what direction do they walk?
I think they walk towards you.
Well, kinda. They walk in a certain direction, and they never change that direction. Except in one situation. When do they change the direction?
They change it when they see you.
No.
No, when there's a wall.
That's
They
right.
bounce
They
and they
hit a wall, and then they bounce. That's how they work, right? They actually don't care that there is an end of a platform here.
And they fall.
They fall, right? So this is going to be very, very easy for us to cope, okay? So let's go to our character controller. And here we have if user controlled, right? So this is how it works if the user is controlling it. But what we want to do is we now want to make a list of different enemies. So let's create a public enum here. Public enum. Okay, yeah. And call it space and then call it enemy type. Capital, all capitals. Enemy type.
By the way, I think we have one person watching.
We do. Well, cool. Hi, one person. Now open a squiggly bracket. Hit enter twice. Close the squiggly bracket. And now here, the first thing we're going to do is none equals -1. Just so we have a sort of crutch to go back to for our user, just in case. And now the first enemies. Now you don't want to call it Goomba because that's kind of, you know, copyrighted. So just call it basic or something. Yeah.
Okay.
That's not very descriptive. We should give it a name. How should we call a little silly enemy that just walks forward? Walker.
Yeah.
You want to call it Walker?
Let's call it Walker.
Yeah, no capitals. Banana.
Oops. Yeah.
Walker. Walker. Sounds good. Save. Control S. All right. So if we have an enum, that means we're going to have a public variable here. No, not necessarily public, actually. We're just going to have a serialized private. So let's hit it right here. So do another serialized field. There, yeah, there it is. Tab. Close it. Space. Private. I think PR is sufficient. Yeah. And this one is going to be enemy type. There it is. Tab. Space. Enemy type. Lowercase. Just lowercase enemy. Uppercase type. Enemy. It's giving.
Sorry.
That's a big hit.
Sorry, people.
Enemy. Y. Just put a Y. You need to type the names yourself. Banana. No, you forgot the capital T. Enemy type. Type. Semicolon. Save. All right. So now we have an enemy type, and we know that we're not user controlled. So here you're gonna type else. Open a squiggly. No, wait a minute. Open a squiggly. Close it. Okay. And now in here you're gonna do a switch for enemy type. Switch. Enemy type. Lowercase. The second one. The second one. Just too late now. I don't know why you've deleted the letters. Enemy type. 2 down. Tab. Close the round. Open a squiggly. Enter. Enter. Close. Okay. Case. Space tab. Dot. Walker. Colon. Enter. Enter. Break. Semicolon. Semicolon. Save. All right, good. So now we have the walker and it's ready to go, right? What it's going to do, it's actually fairly simple. We are going to edit the movement input. Okay? So it's very simple. We're going to go in a certain direction. And then when we hit something, right? When we hit something, we are simply going to change directions. No, we don't. Well, sure, I guess we need that, but that's not what I meant at all.
You were on it, so I thought you meant copy it.
My bad. So save now. Save. Now, here's what we need, right? We're going to need to change this variable. That's true. But how, right? We're going to have to decide which direction they're going to move. So in order to know that, we need to at least know the initial direction. Do you agree with me on that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So for the initial direction, we're going to need some kind of variable for that. Okay? So what we should do is we should start categorizing these things because this will become chaotic very quickly. Okay, so let's create a header here. So open this and type header. Yeah. Now I don't quite remember how you do it, but I think it's equals. No, definitely not like that. Equals. And then quote. No, it's not like that. I think it's header round bracket. Yes. And then quote. And then the way I like to do it is these three hyphens. Now here type in all caps. Go. What did we call it? Walker. Yeah, and now space. Quote. Close round. Close square. Save. All right, so now we have a header. Except you press Shift S and not Control S. All right. Now here, what we're going to do is we're going to say serialized field, so square bracket, serialized field, yep, close square bracket, private, and let's call it a float, and a start direction. Yeah, semicolon. Now hit enter. Create another private. Yeah, wait, you put a slash here. Private, but this time not serialized, just private. Private float. And call this one current direction.
No spaces.
All right. So whenever we set up the enemy, excuse me, we are going to immediately start walking, right? So we're going to say, right here, we're going to check if we have an enemy type. So copy all of this switch, paste it here. And here, we're going to say, if the enemy type is walker, actually, since we're here, let's give this a default value of enemy type dot underscore none. Yeah, so it doesn't go to an enemy first, right? Just to make sure. And so here, if the enemy type is walker, we're going to say that the current direction equals start direction. So let's do that. So go current direction equals start direction. Current direction equals start direction. Start direction. Semicolon. Semicolon. That's it. Save. Okay, now we have the current direction, so here we can use it. We're going to say movement input equals new vector 2. There it is. Equals new vector 2. Open around. And this is going to need current direction. Yeah, current direction. Comma 0f. Close around. Semicolon. Save. Okay. So there's one issue that I kind of have, which is this current direction is kind of rough, because we could give it a 2 and then all of a sudden this will be a 2, and I'm not a fan of that. I think we need to clamp it to -1 and +1. So let's do it right here, just to be sure, right? In case we're silly as developers. So type mathf.clamp, because remember that the input is a percentage, right? Mm-hmm. Open around, and current direction is fine. Now here you want to put a comma at the end, space, -1f.
Oops.
Comma 1f. Close the round. Save. All right. So now it's clamped, so it cannot go above or beyond -1 and +1. So we're good. Now, so this should already be working. Now, there's only one exception, which is our enemy will have to turn at some point, right? And what we're going to do here is we're going to say public void and call it turn around. Turn around. I wonder we should prefix this is with AI, because in the end of the day, this is all going to be AI specific. So here type AI, 2 capitals, AI underscore turn around. That's good. Open, close round, open squiggly, enter, enter, close, save. Okay. And what we're simply going to do here is that copy current direction, paste it, equals negative current direction. Paste it again, semicolon, just, yeah, that'll do, semicolon. So what does this mean? That every time we call this particular function, right, the current direction will be reversed. Mm-hmm. That makes sense, right?
Yep.
Cool. And then the movement input, blah, 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 will do its thing, right? Mm-hmm. So that should work already.
We need to call this.
That's right. We need to call it. And who's going to call it? Who's the person who knows when you hit something? Character motor. Okay? But the hitting needs to happen against a wall. So you must have hit a wall. Where do you know that you've hit a wall? It is going to be transposition X, ground point Y, transposition. That's not the one. It's the sides. Here. This is where we hit a wall, because we're changing the transform. Okay? So here you're gonna say player, I guess. I don't know what you called it. Let's try player. Okay, so we're gonna change the name of this variable very soon. Okay, player dot change direction, whatever you called it. No, prefix it with AI. So AI turnaround, that's the one. Open, close round, semicolon. And not just here, but on the other direction too. So copy this and put it right here. Save. Okay, so that's good. Now I want to rename this player because it's really kind of stupid. Right now it's a name that makes no sense. Character controller, enemy below it says here. Fine. These are all character controls. They're fine, but we're missing the main character controller P. So control R twice here and type CC. Hit enter. Okay, and this one control R twice. Actually, I've changed my mind. Wait. Here, control. No, wait a minute. Okay.
You will play your.
Hit control R twice here, and type CC. Okay, save. So we have a variable now here called CC for character controller. Okay, and by the way, our character controller has a variable called user character motor. That's CC. We're gonna change that to CM. So control R, type CM. Hit enter. Save. Perfecto. All right. So this should already work, I believe. I'm not sure. Should probably already work. Yes. Yes, it should. All right. So all we need to do now is give our little enemy a few properties. Right. So.
And we need to move. We should move the wall there.
It's fine as it is. We'll see what happens. Right. I think it's actually going to look very Mario-like for now. So. This is an enemy type none. No, this is an enemy type walker. Right? Start direction, we need to pick. We're going to say -1. It's going to go left first. Okay, so it's going to go that way. Now we need to choose the movements. Okay, so for speed, we're going to give it we're going to make it much slower than us. So let's do 300. And for air speed, we're going to do... So the other one was 1.5 of 300, so we're going to say 450. So let's try that.
Okay.
See if it works. Look at it.
Death.
Did that feel a little fast? To me, it kind of did.
It's much faster than the Goombas.
All right, so let's make it slower. 150, and then 150 times 1.5. That makes 225. Let's see. I'm gonna kill it. Yes, winning. So we made our first Goomba with our absolutely basic AI.
Can I try too?
Hey Phil. Oh, thanks. Yes, we will zoom in. What's going on here is that me and my little daughter Zoe have a little show 3 times a week where I teach her how to code, sort of, and we're making a platformer right now. So I'm going to zoom in a little bit the code as was suggested. You let me know in the chat if this is good enough, okay?
Whoa.
There. That's a bit big. Should be all right, though. Yeah, Phil is a great programmer. Very nice fella. All right, so let's go back to this.
I asked if I could try the thing.
You want to try the thing? You can try the thing. I'll maximize it, okay?
Now we have 2 people watching.
You have 2 people watching. Isn't that exciting? All right, there's your little Goomba. Look at him. Look at him go. Ah! Oh, you are terrible. Let's try this again. We're providing the music. Can you do this? Yes! Nice!
Death.
Okay, so shall we program the little bounce when we kill an enemy?
Yeah.
Let's do that. Let's go program the bouncage. Alright, so that's obviously going to be on our character motor. We need to force a jump when we bounce on an enemy. And I have a question for you. When you bounce on an enemy, should we reactivate the air jumps? Or should we not reactivate the air jumps?
I think we should make a different jump that's a bit smaller.
Bit smaller?
Yeah, it shouldn't go like really, really high.
I'm not sure I agree. Suppose that you're falling on the enemy from very, very high up.
Yeah, I guess.
So what you're saying is you would like to make a jump that is proportional to your fall height, sort of thing. Let's see. Suddenly you're being a lot more challenging. How do we do that? Well, heck, I am not sure. I think we should start with a simple jump, right? That's the first thing. But the question that I had asked you was this. Should it reactivate air jump?
It would make it a lot easier, so I guess, yeah.
Well, not necessarily. Here, look. I don't think you're understanding what it is that I mean. So when we play in our game, right? Mm-hmm. We can jump and then air jump again, right?
Yeah.
Right. And we can do that air jump literally at any point, like this, right? That's good. Fine. But the problem is that when we jump and jump again, we can jump a third time. But if we fall on the enemy and then bounce, should we be able to then jump again in the air?
I think we should.
I think you should. All right, you think we should. Sounds good. Then we are simply going to call jump as it is right now, because that should reset it, right? Mm-hmm. So let's squeeze all of this code a little bit. And, look, Phil is giving us suggestions. He's saying set y velocity to negative y velocity. That makes sense. That makes perfect sense. But we already have a jump routine, Phil. So we will see if we're going to make some changes, because this is actually a little bit more complicated than it looks. We're already doing, let's show Phil what it is that we're doing. So we have a little coroutine that's launching when we jump that actually manually adjusts the gravity, because we don't want gravity to apply in a realistic fashion. We want gravity to look a little bit silly, just like in many, many platformers. So what we have done to our gravity is we have given it a curve. And it works a little bit like this. So this curve over here, you see, gravity in the beginning applies what is this? It applies quite a bit, then it stops applying altogether. Right, so it applies not at all. It accelerates fairly quickly. It applies bang on in the middle. Actually, that's not exactly in the middle now that I see that, but fine. And then it slowly accelerates to the maximum possible thing. That's why we're getting a bit of that Super Mario feel of floatiness in the air, right? So I float in the air for a bit and boom, then I fall. So we need to utilize that particular function again, right? The jump function. All we could do though is we could pass a bool of some sort, right? Mm-hmm. That allows us to sort of modify the thing, right? For instance, here it asks if can jump. Well, that doesn't really matter to us. You won't be able to jump. Then it's going to ask if grounded, right? It's going to ask a bunch of things. And all of these questions aren't that relevant to us, right? In fact, let's do that right now. Type bool in jump, bool, space, and go override, capital L, limits. Let's call them limits. Oh no, let's call them bools. There you go. Switches, bools. I don't know, bools. Capital B, bools. Yes.
Whoa.
Override bools. And by default, we're going to give it the value of false. Save. Okay. So if can jump.
Wait, what do you say bools?
You'll see. Or override bools. Type override bools. Override bools. There you go. Tab. Okay. So if we can jump, or we're ignoring the can jump, and then here again, or over. Oops, I missed the or. I'm bad at this. Okay, override bools. Yeah, hit tab, save. There we go. So now we're overriding everything, and we're going to a normal starting jump, right? And what we could do with this is that we could also pass through some kind of jump strength, which I agree with Phil could in fact be a negative velocity. We could do that. That could be interesting, right? Let me see what the situation is here. So CC movement input speed, yeah, that's fine. And then jump strength, that's the one that kind of needs to change, and we could go with that. So do you want to try? Well, maybe we'll try it later. Let's go with this for now. Okay. So now we know that we have killed someone, and let's see how we're checking that particular thing. So I think we're doing it in our check grounded here, right? And there it is. If physics, you squish an enemy, then your raise goes cyan, and the enemy below goes something, And here we simply say destroy enemy below. Now this is obviously too cheap. We need to do something a little bit cleverer than this, right? We're only going to set up enemy below for now. And maybe here we're going to call a new function to kill enemy or something like that. Okay?
Okay.
So here, create a new void. Phil says, this is what makes programming fun. So many ways to do things. And he absolutely is correct.
And so many ways to misspell kill.
Kill. Yeah, well, just spell it right, will you? Okay, now enemy. Capital E. Enemy. Yes. Yeah, that's right. We don't actually need an argument because we are... but I would prefer an argument, frankly. Truthfully. Yes, do this. Here, go with, what do we call it? Character, controller, enemy. Controller, enemy. Yeah. Hit tab. Just hit tab. Yeah. Space, enemy. Yeah. Let's be safe here and go with a send. Yeah. So save this. Okay. And now you can cut this. Put it right here. Copy this. No, my bad. Copy this. Paste it here. Open round. At this point, this enemy below is entirely needless. So yeah, we'll remove that. So cut this. Put it here. Close the round. Semicolon. Save. And hit save now. Save. Perfect. Okay, so now we're receiving the enemy, now we're destroying it. Awesome. And what we're gonna call, now that we're killing the enemy right here, we are going to call this jump with override bools. So type jump, open round, true. Close round, semicolon. Save. All right, time to test. You do the honors. You test it. You see if this works.
I was whiny. Okay, let's see if I can hack. I'm bad.
Doing. Okay, so we got a null reference. And the null reference is destroy enemy below. Which is interesting. I suspect that what happened is that the enemy got disappeared. Right? And I suspect that our check up is causing us to be destroyed. I thought so. So let's remove this. Save. There we go. And now we're going to test it again. And we shouldn't get the null reference. All right. Ta-da-da. You thought we had 2 viewers. We have 3. Let's carry on. All right.
Whoa.
Oh, so close, but you air jumped. Oh, are you...
Am I dying?
So you have a little bit of trouble with air controls. That's interesting. We're going to look into that later. It feels to me like our air control is probably a little...
I am having a lot of air.
Oh, you managed. We got another null reference. Where is it? Again. All right, so I wonder if we have another destroy enemy on the side. And I think that basically one of our side rays did that. Yeah, I thought so. So you be silent, mister. And you... Okay, so give it a save. Yeah, so we're getting a few conflicts with these rays. Obviously, the game is still deeply in development, so we're going to have a few bugs. But we're going to iron them out and make it good. Yeah, so Phil, just for your context, the game... Jeebs. Okay, wait a moment.
So many errors.
The game is not utilizing any colliders whatsoever. So all of the physics and everything we programmed ourselves. And you may go, dude, why are you reinventing the wheel? And the answer is because I don't like the way default physics deal with platformers. I think platformers need to be snappy and interesting. And in order to do that... Okay, so what's really interesting is it looks like we are getting more than one. And I think that makes sense. The problem is actually not in the ones that we have changed, but in this. When we check grounded again, we are still going to have that enemy on the next cycle. That's the problem, right? And the problem is also we are actually not checking that this still exists. But it's weird because it's clearly finding something. Oh, I don't know. But what I think we should do is we should simply disallow this, at least for for one time. Maybe we could actually keep that variable that we had before. I don't know. So let's do this for now. Let's go debug.log. I just want to see what's happening, okay? So I'm going to copy all of this. And my guess is this guy goes null. So, yeah, let's try this again. Phil tells us that's what he does. He doesn't like any of the libraries for the physics. Let's get this done, please.
Sorry.
Doing.
There,
All right.
better.
So we got an enemy, and then we got. Oh no. That's because I'm an idiot. It says enemy below. It doesn't say enemy. Dude, your dad sometimes is a little bit on the slow side, frankly. Oh boy, we had a different variable there, a variable we haven't got rid of yet, and we will soon.
Phil says he's not used Unity before.
He has not used Unity before. Oh, sorry, I misread.
Whoa,
It's all right.
Sorry.
Just jump straight, though. Jump straight and wait. Doing. There we go.
Yay.
That worked out. No?
Let's try and double jump.
Right. So you need to try and remember to double jump after you bounced on the enemy, right?
I think I have a tactic that might work.
You have a tactic that might work.
Like that.
Did you? Yeah, but you forgot
But
to
I
double
forgot
jump
to
because you're a
double jump, which is
potato.
very
I'll do it
bad.
this time. I'll do it this time.
Okay.
That will
Hey,
do.
Turnip. Turnip's watching us.
Turnip is watching us. Say hi to Turnip.
Hello,
Why?
Turnip.
Boing. Oh, I wasn't able to double jump. That's interesting.
Uh-oh.
And I think I know why. Yeah, I can't double jump. But I'll tell you what. I think I agree with what Phil was saying. Yeah, you're definitely not able to double jump, so there's a problem there. I don't remember how we do that, but I thought the jump itself would actually allow us to air jump count. I think the air jump count, excuse me, does not get reset. So let's see the start jump routine here. Stop jump routine, blah, blah, blah. So it's like stopping all of these, which is quite nice. It's stopping the gravity. And it says just jump true, can jump false. Yield return, wait for second jumps delay, just jumped false, can jump true. All right, that's good. But I don't think we're resetting the air jump counts. Where are they being reset? So we need to find air jump count equals 0. Somewhere this is happening. Right here. Now, that's peculiar. It's a very strange place to put this. Yeah, I'm going to change this. So cut this. So this is when we land. There may be a reason why we put it there. It seems silly to me, but fine. Put it here. Save. So now we reset the air jump count when we actually officially jump from the ground. So let's see. Let's see if this works. And then we're going to make the change that Phil was suggesting. There, yeah. I just did it. So it works.
Can I try too?
Yeah, but in a moment. First, we're going to make that change. And that change, we're going to do it right here in jump strength. And what we're going to do is we're going to check if override bools. So let's rename this one. So hit Control R twice and name it bouncing. So go bouncing. Hit enter. Okay, and here we're going to do our little shortcut if. Do you remember how to do those?
Well, you
okay.
put the thing.
Type bouncing. There it is, bouncing.
And then you put the
question mark?
No, the question mark. And
so
then
space question mark. Okay, and then space colon. Okay, and now right here we're going to type rb.velocity.y. And here put a negative in front. Save. Look at that, Phil, already making an impact. Let's see how this works. There. That looks realistic, doesn't it? It looked right. Now instead we're going to try the other way. We're going to wait for the little Goomba to fall all the way down, and then I'm going to plummet on him from like a mile down. Ah, if I can. Oh dear. I'm just as bad as you. No! Alright, so here's what I'm going to do. And fail.
he's gonna
die. Okay.
That's fun.
What do we need to do?
make it much smaller.
We need to clamp it.
Yeah.
We need to clamp it to a certain maximum. Though I kind of like it. Tell you what, for now we're going to leave it as it is, and then we're going to make some decisions. Right? I do think we need to clamp it. We're just going to have to decide to what.
Okay.
Right? But it's kind of cool. It's kind of fun. So at this point, I say, let's put another Goomba. Because I'm actually curious to see what's going to happen if a Goomba hits a Goomba. Oh,
yeah.
we haven't thought this through, have we? Oh,
Goomba.
no!
Or will you move him over there instead?
Put this one over here and make
move
him right
direction.
to the right.
Make him
Hello,
right to the
Goombas.
right.
How's it going? So let's see now what is going to happen to the two Goombas when they meet. They go right through each other. Now, I think they should bounce off of one another. Do you agree with me? All right. So, let's go back to our character controller. And right now, the issue, not character controller, but character motor. Now, the issue that we've got is that when we check sides, we actually do find out, but we don't do anything about this. Right? So we get an enemy side. Actually, let me clear our little enemy below, because we're not going to use this anymore. So save. We've lost it apparently. That's okay. Save. Okay, no more enemy below. Now let's look at the enemy on the sides. So, if physics raycast, blah, 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 blah. So here is where we are checking for the enemy sides, right? It says side hits IJ. Transform, get component, character controller. Okay, so here we're getting the enemy side, and that's fine. Now, what we should do here is we should call that turnaround if we hit an enemy. Heck, I think we should call the turnaround even if we hit a little Mario guy. But let's begin by simply checking for the enemies, which we can by accessing the character controller. Right? So, it's good to have this variable. So here we're going to say, because the enemy side could be a player, remember that, right? So we need to be careful. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna say switch, open around, enemy side, close round, open squiggly, enter close squiggly, case. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying to you. Enemy side dot enemy type. Oh, I know why. You has to be public. There we go. Now we can check. So, enemy type. What are you doing? My daughter is like convulsing on the chair. What are you doing?
What is convulsing?
You're like moving like a snake. What are you doing? Can you sit properly?
Okay.
Thanks. So case enemy type dot none. None. There it is. Colon. Enter. Break. Barack. Barack. Okay. Case and no case. Default. Colon. Colon. Enter. Break. Break. Barack. Dude, how are you so bad at this? Break. I'm embarrassed to be your dad. That's not true, but I'm joking. All right, so if the enemy type is none, we know this. The only case that this can happen is that we are the player, right? So if we have hit the player, what we are going to do is we're going to ignore the player, but we're going to kill the player. So let's say destroy. Open round. Now we're going to move this away from here, but whatever. Right, so destroy, and you go enemy side dot game object. Close the round. You know you can hit tab like every now and then. Close the round. Yeah, congratulations. You hit tab at the end. Put a semicolon. All right, so we destroy the player if the Goomba hits us. Brilliant. But if the Goomba hits another Goomba, what we're going to do is we're going to call a cc dot turnaround, or whatever we call it. There it is. Open, close round, semicolon. And an extra L for good measure. Save.
I'll be adding extra L's all over the place.
Yeah, you're L'ing. All right, so let's see what happens. Now we should see the little two Goombas as they are traveling towards one another, hitting each other, and one should bounce back. Doink. Oh, what's happening?
They're getting stuck. The rays are getting stuck.
Nope. What's happening? I know what's happening.
The Z fighting?
No, Z fighting has got nothing to do with this. It's textures problems. That's graphics. Yeah, what's the issue? I know what the issue is.
Turnaround has a problem?
Yes, definitely. But turnaround is just fine. The issue here is that when an enemy turns around, the way you see it right now, what happens is that they then want to turn around right away again because they are the rays are hitting again.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's a bit of an issue. It's a bit of an issue. We've got a problem. So what we need to do here is we need to put some kind of tiny little pause, I think. We're not going to have any clever way as long as we're A-cast on both sides, which is just fine. It's as it should be. So what we're going to have to do is, okay, Phil says they're turning around by checking immediately after that and turning again. Yes, that's what I just said. And he says they need to move after turning. So he's suggesting that we can possibly displace them a little bit after turning. I'm not sure that I agree with that. I think what I would probably do is just keep it silent for a small amount of time. Right? Obviously that will need testing and it's not perfect. So I'm not convinced, but we can try that. I think that could work. So let's create a small coroutine for ignore side rays for a bit. So here we go. enumerator. Right here. Actually, I'm fairly sure this will work fairly well. So enumerator, yeah. And now space, and you're gonna call it turnaround delay, something like that. Capital, it's a function. Just one letter capital, thank you.
One letter?
Around
another one.
Around delay, routine,
Four captions.
routine, open, close, round, routine, open, routine, no, enough, one routine, open, close, round, open as quickly, enter, close as quickly, thank you. All right, save. So what we're going to do here is we're literally going to do something very, very similar to this. Okay, so can hit enemies, we're going to put some kind of bool for that. All right, so here are the sides, and let's just add here, so private bool.
So many bulls.
I know. Bool can hit enemies. Well, no, can turn around. Change that. Why are you putting this? What are you doing? You know these things. Can turn around. Now people may go like, Mike, you're really harsh with your daughter. And that is accurate. That is because I want her to be brilliant. That is my job as a dad. So... can hit enemy. What are we gonna do? We should probably set it to true as soon as we set up. Yeah, I would think so. But we're also gonna need something to stop this routine and then start it again. Yeah, so create a void. Void, much better. A void. Go start turnaround. Or 6 art turnaround. Sucks. Art turnaround. Okay, open, close, round, opens quickly, enter, close it. You forgot the squid. Zoe, let's focus, please. All right, it was funny the first 75 times. Save. Start turnaround. Now create another one and go void stop turnaround. Dum, dum, dum. Stop turnaround. Yeah, open, close, round, opens quickly, enter, close. Save. You close the square bracket. Save. Okay, so stop turnaround is simply going to stop this coroutine. We're also going to need a coroutine for that. So we're going to put it where? Let's do it right here. So private coroutine core turnaround. All of this work for a tiny little detail. Private core routine. Yeah, space tab. Yeah, core underscore turnaround. Capital T, banana. Turn around. spaces and variables, as we do. Semicolon. Save.
Can you actually put spaces in variables?
Oh, if you want to break things, yes. No, it doesn't work. Copy. Hello. All right, so here you're going to say if, open round, paste, is not null. Null. Close round, open squiggly, and trying to close it. Now that's a square bracket. You have a conflicting relationship with the shift and control keys. Hit shift tab. Stop coroutine. There it is, tab. Open round, paste, close round, semicolon. Save. Call, stop, turn around. Open, close round, semicolon. And what are we gonna do? Wait, I'm thinking. So so here you're gonna say can turnaround equals true. Yeah, equals true. So you're gonna set this to true, semicolon. All right. And when we start this, we stop it first, and then we're gonna say can turnaround equals false right here. This is a bit counterintuitive, but the point is we're going to be using both these functions whenever we want to. So now for the turnaround, we're gonna need some kind of weight. And should this be inside here? And I think so, because we may need to change it all sorts of ways. So it's probably a good idea to have it here. Right here, put a serialized field private float. Circularized field. Just hit tab, so it's right there. Right there. Yeah, close it. Private float. And go turn around wait time. Turn around delay. There you go. Turn around delay. Delay equals, and give it a value of 0.1f. Semicolon. This may be a little bit too stingy, but
I
we'll
saved and I semicoloned and I saved again.
Good work. It's fine if you save many times, I don't care. Here, you're going to say yield return new, wait for seconds. Oh, be back. Turn, return, new, what? Wait, it's all broken because you didn't put an R here. R. Wait for seconds. Type W again. There. See, it's beautiful when you actually hit tab every now and then. Hit the round bracket. And what did you call it? Something delay. Just type delay. There it is. Close the round, semicolon. Save. Okay, so we got this. And after this, we stop the turnaround. So copy this. Paste it here. Semicolon. Save. Perfect. So now we have, oh, I forgot something in the start turnaround. We need to actually start this one, right? So we're going to say copy this, paste it here, equals start coroutine, equals start coroutine. There it is. Open round. And you wanna, no, it's this thing. Turn around delay routine. So just type turn and it should be there. There it is. Hit tab, open close round, or hit the other button. Turn, there it is. Open close round, semicolon. Perfect. Save. All right, so now we have this one and we can use it, and we also have this one and we can use it. So we're gonna, as soon as we set up, right here, at the end, actually before the end, you're going to call stop turnaround routine. So do that. There, stop turnaround. That's the one. Open close round, semicolon. Yeah. And start the turnaround whenever we start the turnaround, which is right here. Okay, so go with start turnaround. Open close round, semicolon. And here you're going to say if open round can turn around. That's it. It's already there, banana. Close round, open squiggly, enter, close it. Perfect. Good job. Now you can cut these and put them in. Yep. Or you can cut these and not put them exactly where they were.
Sorry,
All right, save. Brilliant. All right, so this should work. Let's see. I don't know if it's going to do a good job, but we'll find out. So now they should ignore each other after they've done that.
Bonk.
There we go. So that
Now
worked.
Mr. Guy is
Doink.
gonna kill you.
Ha! Oh!
Oh.
I may have fallen on the side. I'm not sure. There's a few things that I think we need to do to... I feel lucky for this. Whoa.
Whoa.
What happened?
We killed him, but then we went in the floor.
I know, that's odd. I'm confused by that a little bit, to be frank.
Again. And again.
Okay, that's new. maybe it doesn't do it with the double jump, but it does it with the single jump. Yeah, okay, so double jump seems fine. Single jump seems fine. I am confusio.
I'm confusio as well, yo.
Wait a moment.
And now we died.
So we definitely have some inconsistent behaviors here, and these surprised me a little bit, that's for sure.
And he just went in the side.
Yeah, I went like
Then you
everything goes
walked
bonkers when that occurs, and I'm not sure why. That's very strange. Yeah, did you see that?
Yep. And then he died.
There's got to be a conflict of some kind. It could be this. No. So this works when you die. So for now, the dying seems to be fine, right? That's for the sides. So if I go here, for instance, and just wait, right? The Goomba has eaten me, and we're good, right? And so this is the thing we're triggering. But this should only apply to the Goombas. But here we're checking. Oh, we're doing turnaround if we are... No, if we're enemy type none. Yeah, but we're checking the enemy type. That's not good enough. We need to absolutely make sure that this doesn't happen when we do it. When the player does it. I think there's a conflict here. I think some weird stuff is happening because it forces us to turn around. I think that's what's occurring, or something like that. So yeah, let's make a change here. And you are going to do something strange. So type switch, open a round bracket. We probably don't need a switch, but yeah. And now you're gonna type cc.enemyType. There it is, all capitals, yeah. Close the round, open a squiggly, enter, close the squiggly. And here you copy exactly all of this, copy it, paste it here. So if we are the player, then we don't do any of these things. But if we are the enemies, cut all of this, put it here. Okay, now this should work, I think. Save. So that's kind of, yeah, not necessarily the best, but I just want to see if it works, because I'm a bit concerned that this weird thing is happening. No, it's still happening. It's kind of new. I don't get it.
Yep.
I don't get it. What in the world? Like, all of this is occurring because of this code, somehow, right? So, here's what we're going to do. We're going to comment it all out and just see if it happens or not. Now they're going to pass through one another, that's fine. But I want to see if it's happening. Enemies dying before bounce, that's a possibility, but I don't think the two are related. No, it's still happening. And now it's not happening. Yeah, I think Phil is right. Let's go see if the enemy is dying before. So kill enemy, no, jump is true. No, it shouldn't be relevant. But you might be right. Somehow the enemy is dying. That's very odd. Okay, so let's go and test if jump is actually happening and if it's being bounced. So we're gonna say if bouncing, I'm typing now just to be a little bit quicker here, peeps, because it's about the end of the show and I want to at least have something semi-robust. If bouncing, debug.log bouncing fellas. All right. It's very important that you add funny things in debug. It's like a rule. I don't know how we do it. Like,
but hello doesn't have any.
Doing
funny.
bouncing fellas.
Sailing fellas.
right? So the bouncing fellas has happened. As you can see, it's happening many, many, many times. And that's the problem, I suspect. Yeah. Yeah, fairly sure. So let's see. Bouncing fellas happened 4 times. So we've got exactly the same problem as before, meaning we have that little delay that's occurring. So I think we can do a clever thing here. So this code is irrelevant. This code has nothing to do with anything and it works perfectly fine. So that's good. I still wouldn't call turnaround though, so I prefer it this way. So let's save this here. But one thing we're going to change is this can turn around. We're going to rename it to interact. And so we're going to rename absolutely everything rather, interact, can interact. Okay, so this is going to be called start interact. We're going to rename everything, so get ready because there's going to be a bit of changes here. Right here, so hit Control R twice. Okay, instead of turn around delay, interact delay. What are you looking at? Focus.
What he was saying.
Yeah, just focus. Collision force them to no longer collide and then do collision triggers. They don't collide at all. So the only way in which I could deal with that, the way you're suggesting, is by making them remember each other, which I could do. The problem is that they must be able to interact again later. So the delay is the solution. The thing is how it needs to be done. So okay, so here hit Control R twice and call this one interact delay, lowercase I. Interact. Yeah, hit enter. Hit Control R twice. Stop interaction or interact. Stop in the capitalized banana. Stop interact. Interact. Hit enter. Okay, can interact. Bless you.
I almost sneezed.
You almost sneezed but didn't. No, I don't open files, Daddy. No. Okay, wait. I'm breaking absolutely everything. So Control R, because you're too busy like sneezing. So
Sorry.
I need to do these things. Interact. Core interact. Okay, interact. Stop interact. This one. Rename this one as the last one. And here put interact. Interact. Yeah, hit enter. Save. Okay, so we're gonna stop the interaction even when we check grounded here, and we're hitting the enemy and killing the enemy. So under kill enemy, we are going to stop interact right here. Rather start interact. So here type start interact. Interact. Open close round. Semicolon. Okay, and and in here where it says kill enemy, whoa, there's so much code. In here you're gonna say if open round can interact. Close round. Open squiggly and turn to close. Cut all of this. Paste it here. Save. All right. Test again. So now I want to see how many bouncing fellas we've got, because it should be one. Boing. Death. But did we have one bouncing fellas? Yes, sirree, we did. Awesome. Save again. Now let me test it one more time. I want to see this. The bounce felt very, very high to me this time. Or am I crazy? I'm not sure. Because I may have double jumped on him. Oh, side rays. They're killing us. Yeah, I'll tell you what we'll do with the side rays. We'll pad them a little bit more. Or something. Doink! Yes! Did you see? We can double the bouncy.
Let's add more enemies.
Well, okay. Sounds good. And then that's the end for today. Alright? So, enemy 1. Tell you what. Let's do a typical Mario trap. Okay? Oh, yes. There. Let's do this, and now we're gonna like duplicate and let's see, by the way, the stress test should be fairly interesting because it may make things not work at all. We'll find out, but it's going to be interesting. I can promise you that. All right, so here we got all of these enemies, right? And then there's this enemy, and we're going to put this one. Oh, didn't mean to do that. We're going to put this one up here. I don't know. How tall, how high are you? Oh, what are these crazy numbers? All right, so 21, 18, 15. So down by 3 each step, right? 12. Mm-hmm. Okay, and this one's going to be at negative 5, 6, 7, 8. Negative 8. That'll do. Negative 10. Negative 12. Negative 14. And negative 14. Now, obviously, your dad is ridiculously lazy, right? So what your dad is going to do is going to grab all of these, duplicate them, right?
Flip them.
And flip them. Now, how am I going to flip them? Now, watch this. Watch and learn, daughter. Watch and learn. I'm going to create an empty. I'm going to put these guys in the empty. All right. I'm going to take the... Oh, I'm an idiot. the game object is not zeroed. So I'm going to reset this. And take these, pull them in, right? Put them right here. And what am I going to do with the empty? I'm going to rotate it on the y-axis by 180 degrees. There you go.
Couldn't you just duplicate them, select them all, rotate them all by 180 degrees?
Nope, because they would be rotating on their own individual pivot.
Oh.
And like this. See, now they're all rotated at negative 180. I'm just simply going to hit 0, and they rotate on their own pivot. So it doesn't matter. And these, I'm going to simply change the start direction to negative 1. And we are going to grab our player and go, hello. We're going to go up here. Oh, yes, this is going to be funny. There, you try. See, oi. Interesting. We already had a problem.
Whoa.
Whoa! Our enemy's doing the kill. That Goomba is awesome.
I died.
Wait, so we clearly, when we level design our thing, we're going to have to be a little bit careful, right? We can't exaggerate like this. But one of them fell through the world, which is interesting. Wait a moment. I think I deleted their models and not their actual entities. But yeah, so it's interesting to see that they can fall through the world. So, I mean, we're going to have to be a bit careful with all of this when we level design, and generally speaking, do a bit of a good job here. I mean, right now we're really being a bit quick with everything, and it's not very, very solid. We should probably do a better job, but it's fine. There we go. Watch this. Look at them. Doing. Let's see if you can kill them up.
See if you can kill one.
if you're bad. All right, try again. Though, to be fair, the game is a little... Whoa!
Hello! Bye-bye!
That's pretty cool.
Body sideways.
Yeah, I know. Mine. I'll try.
And you'll die.
Oh, yeah? Is that what you think? We'll see. You underestimate the death of the daddy.
See?
I died like a potato. Oh, boing. Oh,
Death.
You're absolutely right. These side rays are really getting in the way of the fun. Well, tell you what, we're going to put some kind of priority. But this, fellow people who are watching, is going to happen next time. For today, we are done, and we shall bid you farewell. Good night.
Good night.